Hello everyone, and welcome back to World of Warships Blitz with Terry. Today we'll be talking about something that I do get asked about frequently, and especially around newer players. So, if you're an experienced player and you know everything about how experience in-game works, then feel free to skip this one. This is really more for people who are new to it, and to explain the whole mechanic around free XP, XP, and the conversion between these things. Because it is rather complicated if you're not quite familiar with these things. So, how does this all work? Right. So, there's a tech tree, as you might have noticed, and in this tech tree, I might actually have to find a branch that I haven't actually unlocked here. Right. So in this tech tree, you can progress through the tech tree, and in order to progress through the tech tree, you're going to need experience. You gain experience by playing a ship. As you can see up here, the Minikaze here has 1,565 experience. So the more you play, the more experience you get. Once you reach 39,000 experience here, you can unlock the next tier of ship. I could research this ship. So if I press this, it'll tell me you have 1,565 experience from the previous ship in the tree. But you can already research and skip playing the previous ship because maybe you don't like playing that ship, and just use your free experience. So free experience is a currency of sorts in the game. Now, how do you get free experience? Well, you get free experience from playing the game, but at a lesser degree than ship experience. So it's more valuable, so to say. What else can you use free experience for? Well, you can use free experience for things like legendary modules. So for example, if we look at the Des Moines here, the Des Moines has a legendary module that you can purchase for 250,000 free experience instead of actually paying gold for it. You can use it to unlock ships in the tech tree, but you can also use it for commanders. So if we're looking at a commander, and this commander here is a level 3 commander. Let's say we want to level him up. We can level him up to level 4 by paying 90. Well, first of all, commanders gain experience the same way that ships do. So, and the more you play, the more experience your commander gains. But the higher the level gets, the bigger the gap, just like with the ships, the bigger the gap is in order to get to the next level. So getting to some of the top level skills is going to take quite a while. You can play through a whole... So just to give you an example, right? So you can roughly expect, because I've done this, to play through a whole tech tree line up to tier 10 and sort of have the commander at like level 9 or 10 at the end when you unlock the tier 10 ship. You're then going to have to do a fair amount of playing at tier 10 to get to level 11 and eventually to level 12 on the commander. So that's roughly kind of the expectation, you would say. So let's say if you wanted to level up this commander, you could pay 90 gold. Or if you see that little triangle next to it, you could actually pay 4,500 free experience rather than using the gold. So you can use it for that. If you need to reset the commander, so let's say you have a certain skill set selected on this commander, and you're like, oh no, I don't like this. I want to reset and reselect my skills. You can pay 150 gold, or once again, note the triangle, actually use 30,000 free experience, which is quite a lot, to reset these skills, and then you can, choose different skills. So that's what you can do. The other thing you can do is retrain. So let's take, for example, Mr. Blackwell here, who is currently on the Worcester. So if we were going to assign him to the Des Moines is a tech tree ship. So in order to, so commanders get specialized. So if you look at him, you see that he's currently trained on the Worcester. So if I move him, I can move him to premium ships without retraining. I can move him to black ships without retraining. But if I want to move him to a different tech tree ship, he has to retrain. So if I was going to assign him here, the game tells me, oh yeah, your commander is actually trained on a different tech tree ship. So he's going to need to regain half of his experience, sort of, to get back here. Now, and once again here, you can actually use experience. to pay for that. And you see here, I could pay 150,000 free experience to have him retrained to 100%. Or I can pay gold or silver for 50% or nothing at all. But then he has to, he'll only have half his skills for quite a while. There's another set of experience here. And you see this little blue star next to the commander. And that is commander elite or elite commander experience. So a commander who is completely maxed out. So let's look at him here. So you see Thomas Kincaid is level 12. He has no more levels to gain. So any experience he gains from then on kind of piles up. And you can use that experience to, if you reset the commander or if you move the commander to a different ship. So let's say if I could use 110,000 of this commander's elite experience, not anybody else's, just this particular commander's elite experience, to reset him. Or like we've seen, if I was going to try and assign somebody, if this commander actually, let's use somebody who does. So if we were going to take Mr. Lane here off the Montana and assign him to the Des Moines, then we could use the 7,735 elite experience he has gathered by being maxed out and playing after that. And we wouldn't have to pay free experience to move him around. So that's what you can do with that stuff. Now, lastly, we've talked about how you get things. There are boosters that you can use, and I would thoroughly recommend that you make good use of them, because I wouldn't recommend you buy any for gold, because you get them for free all the time anyway. I have more than I could ever use. I mean, this is the press account. My personal account's got a lot more of those, and I could never use them all up. They come in faster than I can use them up. So I would always recommend that you use boosters when you're playing. As long as you have them. But there are boosters, for example, here, which increasing the ship XP that you gain from a battle. There are commander XP boosters, which increase the amount of experience a commander gains at the battle. There are things that increase the free XP that you get from a battle. All these sort of things. And then they have different levels of, how much benefit they're actually going to give you. Then you have things like the first victory bonuses here. You see that little plus 100% XP symbol up here, which means that your ship experience on the first game of the day gets doubled. And these things stack with the boosters. So you can actually, and then you have, after games, you can watch an ad if you want to get another 50% of all the resources you get. There are quite a few ways of getting a lot of these experience. But as usual, and as everywhere, you can also pay money for it. So if you look at your free XP up here, and I know it's in an inordinate amount, that's because it's a press account, there's a little plus next to it. So if you tap on that, you can convert experience. So how does that work then? So if your ships are maxed out, and maxed out in this regard means they're upgrades. So if these ships are fully upgraded, they will start gathering, well, elite experience, sort of. They're fully upgraded, and they are. You've kind of researched all the. You've reached your next tech tree level, sort of. I mean, for tier 10, it doesn't make any difference. They will gather experience, and in that experience, plus the experience you get from premium ships and black ships, can be converted. So you see that that here, for all the ships that I have here, they have accumulated experience, and I can use that. I can convert that experience because it's tied to the ship, right? So, for example, if I look at the Benham is a premium ship. The Benham has 8,000 experience on its account. Well, what are you going to do with it? It's a premium ship. There's no tech tree that you could use it, but you could spend gold to convert it. So, for every gold you spend, you can convert 25 experience from one of those ships into 25 free experience, and you can do the exact same thing on the commander. So you remember the elite commander experience that is sitting around and gathering that on all the level 12 commanders here that they could use for themselves. If you want to use it on a different commander, you need to convert it into free XP, and that costs gold. Now let's have a very quick look at, again, like what would you want to do with free XP. Let's have a look at the equipment here. 250,000 free XP. So if we were going to purchase these 250,000 free XP, so let's convert everything. Let's convert 250,000 of these. That would cost obviously 10,000 gold because it's a 25 exchange rate. 10,000 gold is a lot. The funny part is, if you remember, actually just to outright purchase the whole thing, you could just spend 5,000 gold. So using gold on converting experience into free XP is, in my opinion, not a very good way of using gold. Because gold, obviously, I mean, you get some gold out of the Blitz passes, and obviously you can purchase gold for real money, but it is an extremely useful resource. You can use it for things like camouflages, right? So if you want to purchase a camo, that costs gold. And there's not an easy way to get it otherwise. So free XP accrues naturally through the game. Think ahead with your commanders and their skills such that you don't need to reset. If you're transferring a commander from another ship, you can always just spend 200,000 silver because, honestly, it isn't like the early days in the game when you had silver was actually a relatively scarce resource. These days, silver is just abundant, and so you can just spend that, get 50% up, and then just gather the rest of the experience. Or you could spend that to get a 50% up, and then use free XP the rest to get them sorted. So, for example, if I did this now, you see that his skills are. He's got half his skills, and he needs to gather another 75,000 experience. But I can accelerate the retraining by using free XP, but now I don't use the whole set of free XP, right? I don't have to spend 150,000 free XP to get him retrained, but I only have to spend 67,000 free XP plus whatever elite XP he has, so at most 75,000. So you can buy yourself a fair amount or you can avoid having to spend free XP by being smart about this and using a resource that's abundant, like silver in this particular case. There are some ships that you can get for free XP, like premium ships. So it is a useful resource, but I personally wouldn't advise you to pay gold unless you are extremely impatient or rich, or you just want to and you want to have instant gratification. Yeah, no, don't let me tell you otherwise. It's up to everybody how they spend their money, but conversion is not necessarily a thing that I think is hugely beneficial or a hugely great use of your gold, because they're better placed. You can buy ship slots, you can buy and you can do a lot of things that you can do with free XP also with gold, like for example the legendary modules. You may as well just straight up spend gold on it, or if you want to reset a commander, you can use an extortionate amount of free XP, or you just spend gold of it, which is a lot cheaper than using the gold to convert XP into free XP and then using the free XP for these kind of shenanigans. So that's what that is. All right, this should have been a somewhat comprehensive overview of how the experience system works, and hopefully that helped some of you to see through the rather complex mechanics on all these kind of things. You can read up on a lot of this stuff in the Battle Wiki, which is somewhere and I can't find it. Everything has changed. It's this one, isn't it? Yeah, this one. So there's a whole section on the XP, and then it sort of explains how all these kind of things work. So take that as a how does the mechanic work, and I'll give you a little bit of an insight into should you use it or not, and how can you avoid, how can you get discounts? How can you have life hacks and get bargains out of these things by using something like silver when you can, or just make sure before you spend gold on conversion to check if there isn't a cheaper way of getting what you want, either by playing or by just spending straight up gold to do it in the first place. Anyway, that's it for today. Thanks everybody, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye.